One of the most traumatizing things that I have experienced, not just with my stand, but with people in general, it's like when people look like they're living their best life after hurting you. And honestly, this right here is something that I would go to God a lot, because genuinely, when you have a good heart, when you have good intentions, when you're trying to do the right thing, oftentimes people's brokenness, they take effect on you. Now, if you're standing and your spouse betrayed you and they are with somebody else and it looks like they're prospering, this is so devastating. Okay, I myself have lived this reality for a very long time. During this process, God did not always vindicate me at the timing that I wanted him to, but he used that timing to give me such an understanding and confidence that the matter was going to get handled. See, you get angry because you do not understand who God is as your defender. Now, there are some battles where, God will have you just kind of let go. But those battles that completely devastate you, especially when you are being obedient to him and a person decides to betray you or even just hurt you, I can be the first person to build your faith today and say the matter is going to get handled. See, I talk very boldly about God and his defense because I was a person that would get robbed, and it just was a lot of times I would get hurt, especially on my stand. But during this time is where I really grew in the understanding of knowing who God was as my defender. And I want you, if you feel right now defeated, if you feel like they're getting away with what they did to me, they are not. Oftentimes we don't know that we can pray for justice. Oftentimes we don't know that we can go to God and say, hey, this broke my heart. The Bible tells us in Psalm 37, do not fret when it looks like the wicked is prospering, because the word tells us that God knows that their day is going to come. It is a spiritual law that people reap what they sow. Okay? Now is your time to work on forgiveness, because we have to uproot the unforgiveness so that we do not block our blessings. But you can definitely forgive somebody and still ask God for justice. Definitely, it is very much so possible. The Bible tells us to pray for our enemies, something that the Holy Spirit has taught me, because when I would hear pray for my enemies, I would think about like, oh my God, I don't want you to be good to them. I don't want you to be nice to them, because when we think about praying for somebody, that's naturally what we think, right? But I got a revelation from the Holy Spirit. When you pray for your enemies, you can literally ask God to correct them. That right there is a form of love. The Bible tells us that love covers the multitude of sins. You can ask God to justify you, and you can ask God to show them that they're wrong. You can ask God to help them stop being the way that they are. Also, praying for them, it definitely keeps your heart in alignment with heaven, because it stops the bitterness and the unforgiveness from growing in your hearts. See, the Bible tells us to bless them. The word also tells us, do not repay evil for evil, but repay evil for good. All of this is the way that God desires for us to love. I think for me, what would do it for me, because God would always have me bless the people that hurt me. And honestly, it puts such a, I know it sounds crazy, but it puts such a confidence in me to know, like, on the back end, I am praying that God does defend me and correct them and show them that they're wrong. And because I'm praying this, I have faith that they're not going to get away with the matter. See, the only reason why we be bitter is because we think in our minds they're going to get away with it. You see what I'm saying? When really, if you're praying and asking God, like, hey, I need you to handle this, it's going to be very easy to bless them, because in the back of your mind, you know that you know what you're asking God to do. So whenever you go to bless them and be kind to them, and you're doing it because you love God, it's going to be easy for you to do it, and you still are in right standing with the Lord as far as your heart posture. Now, if you're standing, definitely God is going to let you put this into work. You're going to do this, okay? Because love is an action verb. Now, you can definitely set your boundaries, but God is still going to require you to be kind to them. You see what I'm saying? He's still going to require you to be kind and not repay evil for evil, but repay evil for good, along with using wisdom. So I was a person that always felt defeated when I would see like certain things on Facebook, like, dang God, like they're going to get away with this. But I promise you, if you just continue to wait on God and you just be in prayer about the matter, never giving up on that, the Lord himself will defend you. I am that person. Like, I don't stay offended. I just go to God and pray about the situation. Depending on the situation, sometimes God might tell you to let it go and he got it. But things that traumatize me a lot, I would always stay in prayer about it. And that's kind of how I would get my healing. And, I would give me understanding as to why a person is the way that they are. Now, if they are consistently hurting you, this is where you're going to have to do different things and protect your peace and your mind just a little bit better than you have been before, so you don't stay bitter. You know what I'm saying? So I pray that this video has given you some type of peace in your mind. Understand that ain't nothing wrong with you going to pray and ask God to correct them, because that is a form of love. Praying for somebody to get it right with God, you can do that. And a lot of times, God will bring correction in the form that causes them to change. You see how that works? So yes, pray for your enemies, then bless them, okay? Because a lot of times they don't know what they're doing anyway. Because if people really understood being in the hand of an angry God and what that feels like and what your life is going to end up like, they wouldn't do half the stuff that they do. Wicked people do not get away with their wickedness. God don't like them people like that, okay? He got a plan for them, all right? Everybody got their time, and you just have to be in alignment with the Lord for yourself so that your house stays from trouble, all right? I love y'all. Have a good day.